So today is Saturday, May 13th, and it's a rainy Saturday up here in North Georgia. And I was planning on doing a little kayak fishing today. Kind of see how that worked out for me. So I'm loaded up, ready to go, just waiting for this last storm to blow through. And Jake and I are hanging out, and thought I would do a Jeep update while I was waiting. So here's what the engine looks like now in comparison to before. So I got this little hose hooked up. Everything's working well with that. Every hose is brand new. I got a new air cleaner cover, or I guess air cleaner housing, new air cleaner, rebuilt carburetor, new exhaust manifold and intake manifold gasket, all stainless steel bolts. There's the new radiator here, and again, not the aluminum radiator. I ended up having to send that one back. The probe for the electric fans is sitting right in this area here. You can see the wire going in, and I used 2 hose clamps because it was leaking a little bit. I don't know how good you can see in there, but I painted all my pulleys. The PSC power steering pump is mounted there. New belts, new water pump, new thermostat housing. Painted all the brackets. And for an alternator with the electric fans, I ended up taking the Advanced Auto Parts alternator back and ordered a 100 amp alternator from Summit Racing, and everything's working really well with that right now. So that's about the best view I can give you of the fans. So again, that's the Flexolite dual fan kit, and those wires aren't, haven't finished that yet. So this is the control box for the fans, and I got that all wired up, and I just have to put the wires in wire looms and make that look a little bit better than what it does. On this side of the motor, I changed the coil to an MSD Blaster 2, new distributor cap, new rotor, new spark plug wires. Those are the Excel 8mm wires. New spark plugs, changed the oil, did the rear differential gasket, changed that fluid. Front differential gasket, there's no fluid that's original on this Jeep. Changed all that out. New solenoid. I don't know if you can see it down there, but new starter. And then also new battery cables, so I got some new battery terminals here, and also ran new cables to everything because the cables that were on here were looking really rough. So again, on this side I got a new air cleaner housing, and it's red. I ordered that on Amazon. Pretty cool little air cleaner housing. And I also ordered an EGR delete. So on my EGR, there was really nothing hooked up to it. There was nothing connected to it. And this is, let me see if I can get closer in here. So on my EGR, there was nothing hooked up to it. It was all blocked off. So I bought this plate. And this is from I believe it's from a guy on eBay. And if you Google on Amazon EGR delete plate, it'll pop up. Comes in different colors, very heavy duty, real nice piece. And I still have to do something with this piece right here, because again, that's blocked off. You can see the screw there. So nothing's even hooked up to this, so I want to get rid of that. But that was a nice addition there. I really like that. Now, one of the things that we ran into when we removed the intake manifold was a pipe that connected the intake to the exhaust, and this is this little guy here. So it kind of went up like this, and then it connected into the exhaust manifold. So on the new exhaust manifold I bought, it had a plug already, and we didn't use this because again, the EGR is not hooked up to anything. So I had to buy a plate, or not a plate, but a plug And this is if you go on Amazon, you can Google that. It's an M22 drain plug for like an oil drain plug. And it's the right threads, and it worked in there. I'll put the part number on there. Got the steering box mounted, the steering lines, the new steering shaft, and the steering is it's incredible. I'd highly recommend the PSC steering box, power steering pump. That's a Borgeson steering shaft, and not sure if the last shaft was bad, but just zero play in this thing. So on the interior of the Jeep, I've been working on this as well, and I found the easiest way to fix the rusty floor pans that I have, and that's to buy some Best Top floor mats. And these floor mats are, they are a perfect fit. They go around the high beam switch. They're really flatten out where your accelerator pedal goes, so you don't have any issues with that. They're not cheap, they're pricey, they're about 80 bucks, but they're worth, I think, every penny. Nice addition to the Jeep and covers up my rusty floor pans. Still got to address that, I'm not hiding from that, but just not there yet. So the other cool thing that I did here is I put a Tuffy security console in, and I really like this console. It's got 2 drink holders in the front, and it's just very heavy duty. It's got a nice powder coated finish, and the vinyl really matches perfectly. So it's got a pretty heavy duty locking mechanism and heavy duty lock, and tons of storage. So I didn't get the one that held the stereo, because I've got a cutout on the dash already for the stereo. It's already been butchered, so I'm going to use that. And with no carpet in the Jeep, I didn't want the wires to show. So I got the one that doesn't have the stereo slot, and I'm actually glad I did, because this one is really nice, and it just expands that storage area a lot more. It's got an aluminum tray there as well, and again, just a real heavy duty locking mechanism. So another thing I did too was I bought a Grant steering wheel. This is a leather wrapped 3-spoke steering wheel, and it's black aluminum, and I installed that. You can see that's the Grant adapter kit there. While I was in there, I've put a new ignition switch in there, because you could literally start this Jeep without the key. You could just turn the ignition, and it would start up. So I fixed that as well. I put a new ignition switch in there, and I actually get to use a key now. The other thing I did was replace this turn signal lever. This is again, bought this off Amazon. This is a billet aluminum, and just a nice little touch. The old one was kind of rusty. And then I got the Jeep plug, or center cap, the Jeep horn cap in the middle. So another thing I did while I was in the steering column is I went ahead and replaced this piece. And this is the turn signal control. Your turn signal lever mounts right there. And you can't see it in this video, but this thing is cracked. Turn signals were intermittent at best, and now they work perfectly. So this is actually an AC Delco GM part, and hooked it right up. Didn't have any problems at all with this. Pretty easy. Let me say it wasn't easy, because by the time you're into that depth of the steering column, it's not easy, but once you're at that point, you can easily replace this. I ended up buying a harmonic balance puller kit, steering wheel kit, and this was an Amazon purchase. ABN, Auto Body Now. I think it was about 15 bucks, and instead of renting one, I just went ahead and bought one, and that's what it looks like on the inside. Comes with a plastic case, pretty nice. Did the job. The other tool that you need for if you're going that deep into the steering column is one of these guys, and what this does is it pushes down on the there's a plate in there, and I think it's your ignition lock plate, but it pushes down on that, and then you can push that down and it enables you to get to the snap spring or the snap that's in there, and then you can take the little snap ring off, and that allows you to get into the steering column to the point where you can access that plastic blinker thing, the turn signal switch. So I also got this on Amazon. It actually recommends it if you punch in a search for the steering wheel puller. This will come up as a recommended product. I think it was about 10 bucks, and so far it's holding up. I don't know how long that little wing nut will last, but there's two versions of this on Amazon, and one is poorly reviewed, and it's worth the extra couple of bucks, I think, for this one, because the butterfly, or not the butterfly, but the wing nut here is a lot thicker, and it hold up. I went into that steering column probably 3, 4, 5 times, just working on it and trying to readjust and get my horn to work with the new steering wheel, and this did the trick. The other thing that happened with the Jeep was the fuel pump, and in a previous video I had mentioned that the fuel pump was making some squeaking sounds, or at least I thought that's what it was, but it ended up not being that. And when I went and had my Flowmaster 40 series muffler welded on, the guys at the muffler shop said, "Hey man, you know, your universal joints in the rear are, you know, really bad." So I changed the rear universal joints, and you know, I was kind of like, okay, whatever, they're bad. I don't know if you can see this, but this is the bearing cap from one of the old universal joints, and it literally looked just like this. So there was no, I mean, absolutely no needle bearings in there, and I fixed that. I put new universal joints in on the rear drive shaft, and I can't even begin to tell you the difference that made and how the Jeep rides. It just rides a lot better. Everything's tightened up, no more squeaking sound, and I'm really happy right now with the Jeep. Everything's running good, and I've done a lot in the 2 months that I've owned this Jeep, and I'm going to keep doing more to it, but I'm going to slow the pace down a little bit and just kind of enjoy it and drive it around. So up next on the list for the Jeep is I bought these energy suspension body mounts, and you can kind of feel your body mounts. Mine are real sloppy. They're all cracked. They look really bad. So I bought these polyurethane ones in red, and I'm going to mount these next. And I'm really going to start working on the tub of the Jeep. Kind of figure out what I want to do with that. It's got some rust. It's got some it's just dirty. It needs to be clean, and I'm excited about getting into that. I think I'm going to paint it, but I don't quite know if I'm going to do some kind of bed liner. Probably going to get a little dark in here, but the tub of the Jeep's in pretty good shape, but I definitely want to work on it and clean it up. So that's where I'm at with the Jeep. Lots more to come. Thanks for watching.